I'm Neil, and I'm the teacher.
And I'm Sean, and I'm the deal maker.
Together,
we're the Rise Guys.
An agent arrives at a showing and something feels wrong. Most agents push that feeling aside. They should not. Today, I am showing you the 4 red flags every agent must recognize and the safety protocol that protects you before you ever need it. Let me set the scene. A new inquiry comes in, no referral, no prior connection. The person is immediately friendly, maybe a little too friendly. They tell you something personal about their situation that just happens to match something in your own life. You feel a pull toward them. And somewhere in the back of your mind, something says, slow down, but the market is tight, the lead looks real, and you book the showing. That moment, the moment where you override the signal, is the moment where the risk begins. Your intuition is not a bias to apologize for. It is a professional tool built from pattern recognition. Real estate agents work alone with strangers in properties that are often completely isolated. The agents who get into trouble are nearly always the ones who talk themselves out of the warning. Here are the 4 red flags that appear consistently in the agent safety literature, and I want you to know all of them before your next showing. The first is a faked shared predicament. The other person mentions something personal, a relocation, a divorce, a loss that just happens to mirror your own situation. It creates false rapport fast. The second is excessive charm, warmth that arrives before any real relationship is built. People who are genuinely friendly do not turn it on like a switch with a stranger they just met. The third is over-explanation. Too much unprompted detail about why they need this property, why they are looking right now, why their situation is special. People who are telling the truth do not usually need to justify it at length. And the fourth is the clearest signal of all: any attempt to push back on your safety protocols. If someone says, come on, you do not need to send your location, trust that flag above all the others. The safety partner protocol is not complicated, and it is not optional. Before any showing with someone you do not know well, send a message to your safety partner with 3 pieces of information: the client's name and contact number, the property address, and the time you are meeting. Set a specific check-in window. Then at the showing, let the client know matter-of-factly that someone knows where you are. You do not need to make it confrontational. Just say, my colleague knows I am here and I will check in shortly. Send that check-in text when you arrive. And if you do not send a checkout text within the agreed window when you leave, your partner initiates an escalation sequence. They call you first, then the listing agent, then police. The protocol protects you. It also deters anyone who was counting on you being alone and unaccounted for. There are physical protocols for how to move through a property during a showing, and they are worth building into your habit. Walk behind the client, not ahead of them. Never put yourself in a position where you are leading someone into a room with no sight line back to an exit. Avoid hallways or rooms with a single entrance and no clear way out. Know where you are relative to exits at all times. Before the showing starts, arrive early, turn the lights on, verify the conditions of the property, and get your own read on the space before you introduce someone else into it. And if a client refuses to enter a property after you have already arrived, which does happen, you do not simply leave. Your professional obligation requires you to enter, secure the property, leave your business card, and notify the listing agent. The duty to secure does not end because the client changed their mind. Neil walked through a specific tool that CREB members have access to called the MyEForce application. The setup is a 2-step process. First, register through the web portal using your Calgary Real Estate Board member ID and email. Then download the mobile app. The system requires an active connection and will deactivate if it is not used for 60 consecutive days, so you need to build regular use into your routine. Well, the most important rule is to run a dry run test before you ever use it in a real situation. Do not wait until something goes wrong to figure out how the app works. walk through the test procedure so that in an actual emergency, your hands know what to do before your brain catches up. The app provides immediate emergency assistance, but it works best when it is already part of your pre-showing habit rather than a last resort you are learning in real time. Here's how to leave today. The safety protocol is not something you run when you feel nervous about a particular showing. It is something you run every time for every showing with every client you do not know well. When the protocol is a consistent habit, it stops feeling like an accusation and starts feeling like a professional standard that you apply uniformly. Verify client information before you meet, send the partner message, text the check-in when you arrive, text the checkout when you leave, let the client know the protocol is in place, know the 4 red flags, recognize them when they appear, and treat them as information rather than as overreaction. The agents who get into trouble are almost always the ones who had a system and skipped it just once because the client seemed fine. Your intuition is real. Your protocol is real. Use both. That is the show for this week. I will see you in the next one. New webinar summary every week. Subscribe so you never miss one.